So sometimes our muscles create tension and block. So the goals and aspirations that I have for my practice is to grow as a healer. These various modalities that I have, I don't like to be defined by. These are tools in my toolbox. And as you grow, you broaden your scope of practice. I broaden my scope of practice. I'm not just muscle, tendon, and nerve bound, but now I can treat and induce pregnancies, treat dermatology, gynecological, psycho-emotional, and the list goes on. But even there, you realize as an acupuncturist, if we're dealing with issues that are just dealing with channels or dealing with energy, acupuncture is good. But some of the chronic, not chronic pain, but chronic autoimmune, chronic conditions, oftentimes need herbs. So you always realize as you grow, there's always an opportunity for greater growth. You realize that the biggest room is the room for improvement. So my aspiration is to help people in terms of coaching, encouragement, providing spaces for people to engage in a wellness retreat. But as a practitioner, my goal is to grow into a herbologist, learning herbs, and to not just have my sword as an acupuncturist, but to have my shield as a TCM practitioner of herbs. Integrated medicine is a blend of the two. It's yin and yang. We got the West, which represents yang, and we have the Eastern ancient traditions blended into integrated medicine, right? So a lot of time we have this tribal war, conventional medicine against alternative medicine, when both of them have their value. Just like everything, the yin and the yang of conventional medicine, we have practitioners that are good and practitioners that are not so good, right? We have, on the alternative side, you have that dynamic opposite that exists where you have practitioners that are very good and are great practitioners and they have great value to give, and then you have those that are just dealing with fluff and it's not enough, and they're not great practitioners. So integrated medicine is the blend of Eastern and Western medicine, but integrated medicine approaches the human body not as an individual unit, are from the philosophy of compartmentalism, where we're just looking at one thing. No, integrated medicine deals with the whole. It deals with treating the whole person, because there's a domino effect. When the physical body is not aligned, the mind is not aligned, your emotions are not aligned, your social interactions are not aligned, your relationships are not aligned, your environment is not aligned, and your spiritual is not aligned. Every physical sickness has a spiritual counterpart. So it's dealing with the holism of the human being and taking the best of both worlds and giving it to you with ancient wisdom in a modern practice. What are some of the challenges with practicing integrated medicine? Like I said, it's people's willingness to spend money on their health and realize that you're going to pay either way. You're going to pay the back end or you're going to pay the front end. And people understanding they should pay it forward. And understanding that to get in balance, it took time. And that's not going to take the same amount of time, but it's going to take time to gain your balance. So people's long-term perspective and people's expectations of how long it's going to take for them to receive balance. Another thing is that a lot of people are not proactive with their health. They're reactionary with their health. Some of us only go to the dentist when we need a root canal. Some of us only put gas in our car when our car stalls on the road. or some of us only go to the mechanic when our car breaks down on the highway. There's not enough of us who are proactive with our health and don't just use pain or symptoms as a measure of their health, but are proactive with their health and come in for seasonal treatments, or come in for monthly treatments so that they can operate from a buffer of health. And people just listening and implementing what I share with them. How do I assess? So with traditional Chinese medicine, we have the assessment of the eyes, as where the body's constantly speaking. This is one of the things that I want to share with people to connect the knowledge of Eastern medicine with a modern understanding. So when I see a client, I'm observing how they carry themselves. Body language speaks a lot. We can tell a lot about people's energy level just on how they're sitting, how they're standing, their eyes, the color of their eyes, the color of their skin. And when I'm talking about skin color, I'm talking about, do they have luster, or are they looking pale? Is the skin looking dry? Their tone in their voice, does it sound like, through the voice we can tell a lot about a personality, a lot about the person's energy level. One of the primary things that we're doing is we're checking the tongue, because the tongue is telling us about the water metabolism of the body. It's telling us about digestive health. There's a lot that we do with tongue diagnosis. Pulse. So we're checking your pulse not just for the beats per minute, but the quality of the vessel. So if your pulse or your artery is a straw, is it like little pebbles of blood flowing through that straw, or is it like a fountain of fluid flowing through that straw, or is the straw really small and thin, thready? So there's a lot of different pulses that tell us about what's going on in the body on a yin level or the body fluid level. We also diagnose with palpation with the hands, as I was mentioning, that once I put my hands on somebody, we know tension stops process. So what do I mean by that? You have a hose of running water and you step on it, that water doesn't flow as much. So sometimes our muscles create tension and block blood flow, block the flow of chi, right? And we say that chi commands blood, but blood is the mother of chi. So we're looking at the body holistically. Traditional Chinese medicine stands on three legs. We have chi, which is life force, bioenergy, the dynamic opposites that exist in everything, which we say is yin and yang. And everything that is yin is relative to that which is yang. And then we have the 5 diagnostic organs, or the 5 elements. So each organ, and when we talk about organ, we're not talking about your heart, your physical heart. We're talking about the energetic heart, the energetic kidney, the energetic lung, the energetic liver, spleen, stomach. And these are energetic vortex that have a correlation to a sound, a season, a smell, a taste. And when they are imbalanced, they have cardinal signs.